I didn't do many of these things that to the world standards are bad, but walking in a relationship with Jesus, some of those things that I did aren't acceptable. My name is Drew Horst. I was raised in a Christian home. It gave me a foundation of what faith should look like. I was the kid that would go to every single Christian event, whether that was Sunday school, church on Sundays, vacation Bible schools, church camps. I was always there. So because I went to all these things, I got all this head knowledge to the point where I knew a lot more things than what kids knew. I knew that Matthew was a tax collector, that Luke was a doctor, and I thought every kid would know that. To my surprise, not very many kids knew that. I had this justification where I'd already known enough and that I didn't need to know anymore. I didn't need to pursue anymore. And because of this, it led to a path of self-indulgence and self-seeking and ultimately brokenness. My junior year, I got involved with a friend group, and I started staying out late. I started swearing, all that was unbeknown to people around me. I was still seen as the good kid. I still show up to church on Sunday. I still sing during worship, but it kind of was fakey and I was kind of two-faced. At the end of my junior year, I got named the varsity soccer captain. Going into my senior year, I got named on the homecoming court. I was student body vice president. I was a very influential person in the school, and in all reality, it didn't really matter, but at that time it did. During my senior year, I hardly ever picked up my Bible. I maybe picked it up 3 times. That was to move it to different places on my desk. I hardly ever prayed. Going to church was a chore and not something I looked forward to. My relationship with Christ was just absolutely terrible. I would say my senior year, it was not a relationship, but more of a religion. It was based on the fact that I was a good kid and I had already earned something that I didn't deserve. It led to me being disrespectful to my parents, to my sisters, to my grandparents, to the people that loved me the most. I can remember now my mom would say, "You treat the people who love you the most the worst." And looking back on it, it's true. I graduated in May of 2019, and during that time I graduated with a bunch of honors. As I graduated, I became more of a jerk. I pushed my family away. I demeaned people behind their backs. As I started pushing people away that really did care for me, I hurt a lot of people. I hurt my mom, I hurt my dad, I hurt my sisters. So I got a job at the Clay County Fairgrounds following my senior year of high school. I got more involved with my friends. We'd go boating, we'd go do all these things that once again the world had to offer, but at the end of the day would still leave me unfulfilled. As I kept hanging out with them more and more, I kept becoming more and more of a jerk to the point where me and my dad got in a huge fight. It actually happened the day of my accident. To get to where I ended up, I would have had to turn left, travel about a quarter of a mile, turn right, then make another quick right turn, and then drive another quarter of a mile. I remember waking up to a man asking me if I was okay. My ears were ringing, it was really bright, and I was really cold. I didn't know what he was saying to me at the time, I couldn't hear him, but later could piece it together that he was asking me if I was okay. I remember getting out of the truck, having no idea what was going on. The truck was smoking. I looked down, my shirt was stained red with blood. I remember seeing my mom's face, and she was crying, and she was hurting, and I think that's probably when I knew something was terrible was going on. I remember I apologized to everyone, and I didn't know what I was apologizing for. I just felt sorry. But looking back on it, I was apologizing for all the things I'd done in my past. And as I got to the hospital, they did more of the same. They put me into garments and they ran a bunch more tests. I went through many physicals. They hooked me up to a heart monitor where I had to wear a heart monitor for 24 hours. But the lowest point I was through it all was not having an answer. And then I even got even lower when I received a call from my mom. She said, "You have an appointment at the cardiologist tomorrow. They think something's wrong with your heart." I remember going down to my dad's office and him revealing the results to me, and I was told him I was broken. I was crying. I was at my breaking point, and I remember he gave me some of the best advice he's ever given me. He said, you have the choice. You can either trust God through this whole thing, or you can trust man. Now is the time where you need to go alone and talk with God. And I remember I went into my room, I got on my hands and knees, and I said, Lord, what's wrong with me? And then as I started to realize what had happened in my past, I realized maybe it was the wake-up call that I needed. The following day, I went to the cardiologist in Sioux Falls, and I had this peace and about it that I was not nervous going in there that like I thought I would be. With there being no answer, I was searching for something, and then I remember at graduation time, my dad's friend gave me a book called Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper. It really hit home with me because that day I could have lost my life. My life was spared. So in my searching, I found Jesus again in a way that I never experienced before, full of grace, full of mercy, in a time where I didn't deserve mercy or didn't deserve grace. He had his arms open wide, ready to accept me back. I started reading my Bible more, I started praying more, I started enjoying going to the church. I was in need of a sense of community, which led me to where I am in college today. I got involved with Salt Company. I found a great group of guys, and they've really helped me. That was not a church group. That was they're considered connection groups there, but we were more of a friend group than we were a connection group. We pushed each other, we encouraged each other, we were there for each other in good times and in bad times. I remember receiving the phone call from my dad saying that his dad, my grandfather, has stage 4 lung cancer. It was very devastating. My grandfather has been one of my best friends since I was really little. We did everything together. We hunted, we fished, we went to activities together. Because I had this group, it gave me a place to get out what I needed to say. They gave me godly advice versus worldly advice, something I hadn't received through my community in high school. God's given me many things that I've taken for granted. I'm way closer with my family than I was in the past. I've also met a new family with my girlfriend's family. I met her my freshman year at a church event, and she really pushes me to be better. I know deep down in her heart she loves Jesus more than me, and that's something that's really important to me now. I am by no means a perfect person. I still have a lot of things to work on. I still have a lot of areas to grow. But I would say I'm more kind, I'm more patient, I'm more loving, I'm more open. I want to say I'm a better overall around person than I was. Jesus is why I'm better.